Score advantage in favor of Flatpaper. When all is said and done, we come to this first break of the map. Just about 3 minutes on the map as well, so plenty of time left to be had. And we get into a little bit of this, what is it, vaporwave style of song. Good on both of these players to be holding through for as long as they have. Now we're about halfway through the map. First player to find any mistake will more than likely be losing the point. Both players are holding so solid through the section, and they do end up hitting everything. They don't even miss on the slow slider either, so yeah, these players are so prepared on this pick. Right now, it's going to be pretty close between these two players. The accuracy advantage actually ended up flipping the way of Azer. Flatpaper dropped a bunch of accuracy on those doubles. Going into this final section, but Azer's going to be the first to fall. That's dropping the combo. Flatpaper is able to quickly swing that score advantage over 30,000 points and climbing as Azer's just not quite able to maintain their combo anymore. Flatpaper does end up dropping the combo, but I think the damage has already been done. This late into the map, 50,000 points is pretty significant, especially considering that combos have pretty much equalized, and the accuracies as well. So yeah, Flatpaper is going to be getting their first pick as well as the first point. Still a hard-fought point. Azer keeping that one in contention all the way up until the very end. Only just losing it by about 100,000 points when all is said and done. Very nice for Flatpaper to be able to get that first point on the board. But we will see where Azer chooses to go to. Azer, a long-time tournament veteran, I think known for their proficiencies in the hiddens, known for their proficiencies on stuff like heavy finger control, reading, gimmick, anything like that. Also just kind of an all-around solid player on most everything, but yeah, I do think we are going to see him stick with his guns here on some of the hiddens, and we are going to be seeing this week's Hidden 4. It was a Hidden 2, Hidden 3 ban from Flatpaper, DT2, DT3 ban from Azer, so yeah, makes sense a lot. Really showing a lot of respect to these two players' separate strengths. Especially that Hidden 2. I don't think I've seen that Hidden 2 get picked at all. I think I've seen that Hidden 2 banned in every single match. But this Hidden 4 is a Catch World Cup custom from 2024. Custom song from Absolute Castaway. This map set in particular, though, is from Cytosine, map 4 standard. And yeah, it's an absolute banger. This is going to be a swing hidden pick. A little bit of finger control on this one. Accuracy-wise, I think if you have over 95% accuracy, like it's a really solid score. Don't tend to see too many players above that threshold at all on this pick so far this weekend, so we'll see how Azer and Flatpaper end up doing on this, but Azer is going to be trying to answer back with a point of his own. Flatpaper starting us off with a pretty quick point on that DT4, and now Azer has a chance to get one right here on this Hidden 4. This beginning section is particularly nasty, especially for the accuracies. Cannot overstate just how hard it is to hack this map. How hard it is to even hit this map. Flatpaper going to be finding a pretty big chain break on that 1/3 pattern. It's one of the hardest streams of the map. Get into these little doubles, little swing rhythms. So far, Azer is looking pretty comfortable here. 97% accuracy. Again, as I said earlier, if you're sitting above 95%, you're already on a pretty impressive score, but 97 is absolutely disgusting right now. Flatpaper with more of what you would typically expect from a player of their caliber, right? 90% accuracy, I think, has been pretty average so far in this tournament, but right now, Azer is just on a complete tear. really going crazy now. He does end up dropping the combo, but it's all right because Flatpaper ends up trading it out just a little bit shortly after. So 65,000 points in favor of Azer, coming out of the section with a couple more mistakes, but not going to be too big of a deal. Holding on to such a massive accuracy advantage that combo advantage from Flatpaper really isn't doing anything at all. These misses aren't necessarily helping Azer out at all either. Finding a break right in the middle of the map. Now Flatpaper did end up trading it pretty shortly after Azer found their next miss, so it's not going to be helping Flatpaper whatsoever. Really needs to hope for a lot more mistakes from Azer here. Kind of needs to FC the rest of the map, I think, in order to bring back the score deficit. It's already about 100,000 points in favor of Azer just because of the accuracy so much. Into the second PI section. More of these long sliders, more of these doubles. A lot of finger control, a lot of aim control. Flatpaper going to be the first to fall in the second PI section. No player getting caught up on that slowdown 1/3 section either, so good on both of these players, but you know, a little bit of a speed up here. It's still doing so solid as Azer, holding on to such a disgusting 97% accuracy. I mean, this is the style of map that you expect Azer to thrive on. And yeah, this is going to easily be a point for Azer. It's too far gone. The damage has been done, and answering back with a point of his own in such a decisive fashion as well. After that first map was so close, Azer is looking really solid right now. And it's still going to be a pretty impressive score from Flatpaper as well. 250,000 points and all said and done. That's solid on a map like this. You cannot be kicking yourself at all about getting that score, but yeah. Azer's just doing Azer things. There's not much to be said about that. We get slow slidered at the very end. Very unfortunate little troll mapping, but it is what it is. That's going to be probably one of the best accuracies we will see on this map so far this weekend. I'm willing to bet that we will not see any accuracy better than that one. Very nice scores all around, but A's are going to be tying things up 1-1, keeping things pretty close here. Nomad 5 is going to be the next option from Flatpaper. Trying to really speed abuse Azer here, I think, with the last remaining speed pick really of this match. Oh no, there is still technically Hard Rock 4 if you can call that speed. That's 250 BPM, but yeah, not going to be super speedy compared to this pick. This is going to be just pure shred. I think this is 240 BPM as well. Azer going to be opting for the default skin. Is the method for some players. Definitely works if it works for you. A lot of players would argue that would not work for them, but Azer's a special case. Let's let him do Azer things. If he wants to run with the default skin, so be it. GeoChefs aren't going to come out here. And yeah, Flatpaper is begging Azer to not be able to play this, and Azer is saying, don't worry, buddy, I can't play this, but we'll see if that's true or not. Map number 3, this is Flatpaper's second pick, and this map gets particularly brutal in the second half. There's just so much tapping for so long. Stamina really starts to become apparent if there are any stamina issues, and both players are already finding a couple of mistakes to start this one off. But Flatpaper looking to be in the driver's seat as far as accuracy and combo goes so far in this one. Now we are going to see a couple of more trades, but yeah, this beginning section is very telling. If you're not able to hold on to the combo in the beginning section, you are pretty worse for wear when it comes to the end of this map. Bit of a calm before the storm as much as you can. Call this kind of shred calm. These are going to be the first one to find another break. It's best to hold on to any form of accuracy or combo, but not doing so hot right now as we get back into some more of these intensive sections. The tapping starts to get a little bit longer, the spacing starts to get a little bit more spaced, a bit wider, but yeah, Azer is just struggling right now, and it's Flatpaper doing dividends right now. Already over 100,000 points in advantage. Looking to further this even more, as this is the halfway mark that I was talking about. The second half of the map just kind of takes off and it never really gives up. Now Flatpaper does end up dropping their combo, but I think Azer is too far gone at this point. Gonna need a miracle for Azer to bring this one back, and Flatpaper is doing really solid work right now on this No Mod 5. Only a quarter of the map remaining, and yeah, this is going to be a second point on the board for Flatpaper. No question about that. I think Azer did good to ban out on the DT2, DT3, but there is still the likes of that Hard Rock 4 if Flatpaper does so choose to go down that route. Outside of that, tapping's pretty much gone. There is the No Mod 2, but that's going to be a much more comfortable BTM for Azer. Albeit, still might not be super comfortable at that kind of map, but a lot more reasonable for him to be able to play than something like this No Mod 5. And yeah, that's an easy point for Flatpaper. 2-0, or excuse me, 2-1, not 0. Just saw Azer get their own point pretty handily. So, a bit of a slip up on my end. Yeah, 2-1, and keeping it relatively competitive so far in this match. Seed 7 being in the losers bracket this early on is a little unexpected, but when you look at the players that Azer has had to play so far in this tournament, it makes a little bit of sense. So, yeah, Flatpaper is doing their best to keep Azer at bay. Now we've got options. I think Azer's probably eyeing up something like that No Mod 4, something like the No Mod 6. Even that hidden 1 is still available. It might not be too difficult of a hidden compared to something like that hidden 4, but still good options for Azer. I think even something like the No Mod 3 would be a good choice as well. But yeah, it's going to be the hidden 1. Ooh. I wonder if that's maybe a bit of a bluff from Flatpaper. Azer asked, can you play the No Mod 6? And Flatpaper said, I've got 7 practice sifs, bro. That might not actually be a bluff, but Azer's going to respect it for the time being. This hidden 1 pick is going to be the choice Azer chooses, and we'll see if this one goes any differently from that hidden 4, which was a lot more one-sided for the way of Azer. We'll see. Map number 4 now. Azer's second pick on the hidden 1, and exhausting all of the hidden picks now, as the other 2 were banned against him. It's gonna have to go a different direction after this one. This pick is all about that aim consistency. There's so much uncomfortable, awkward aim sections. And it's at a BPM where single tapping can get kind of tiring. And alting is like almost too fast. It's just a very uncomfortable, awkward map, and Azer's going to be the first to fall on this. It's going to give a alright advantage towards Flatpaper, however Flatpaper does end up trading that out pretty shortly after, so could have been a lot more damage done towards Azer. Hopefully it's not going to be that much, but Azer's continuing to struggle here. And some of these aim sections are just so nasty to hit. Starts getting more and more linear the further the map goes as well. already starting to see some of these linear patterns showing up. Right now, it's Flatpaper in the driver's seat. Actually, that score keeps switching back and forth. It's a slight accuracy advantage for Azer that's doing it. Really solid right now to keep Flatpaper at bay, despite having a couple more mistakes than Flatpaper has as well. Only a quarter of the map remaining, and Flatpaper finds yet another mistake. There's another break from Flatpaper as well. That score lead's going to start to skyrocket for Azer the longer that he's able to hold on. This is some of the hardest parts of the map now. Flatpaper finding more mistakes. Azer finally finds a drop of their own, but I think it's too little too late for Flatpaper now. Gonna need a complete disaster from Azer, who's just hitting this final pattern like it's nothing. Doesn't have dropping the combo, but my god, that was impressive. Almost FC's the entire end pattern, and what a way to do it. Azer gonna answer back with the second point of his own. But again, there's still no more hiddens left for Azer. We are going to have to see him choose another route, whether that be in the Nomads or the Hard Rocks. I don't think he's going to go into the double times. Although, actually, maybe something like the double time 1 could be a good pick from Azer. But it's very risky. I think rather leave that up for Flatpaper to choose. A little bit of IRL interference from Azer's cat. Moves the tablet. What a great cat. I love Azer's cat. It's real cute. But Nomad 2 is going to be the tapping choice. I think one of the last ones available to Flatpaper. There's still that Hard Rock 4, if you can even call that tapping. Yeah, there's some bursts in Hard Rock 4. You could definitely call it tapping. But yeah. Nomad 2 is going to be the option, and a little bit easier, I think, for Azer to be able to play than something like that Nomad 5. Only 202 BPM, right? I'd say only, as if like that's not a lot. But for some of these players, it's not a lot. And I think especially for someone as big of a tournament veteran as Azer, they are well accustomed to having to play 200 BPM stream maps. It's just a matter of how warmed up is Azer. How much can Flatpaper use that as well? We'll see. This is map number 5 now. Flatpaper looking to get a 3rd point on the board. Potentially upset even. Azer would love to see a breakpoint as well. As far as future picks for Azer go, there's a big question mark for me. I'm not sure where he wants to go next, so we'll worry about that once this one's all said and done. We got 4 minutes of a map to be played. One of the longest maps in the pool. I think there's still a 4.5 minute map, but a very long pick of, for the most part, just streams. So far in the beginning section here, I'll give the advantage to Flatpaper, who's holding on to a pretty sizable accuracy advantage. Azer is no stranger to the combo game. I do think Azer can get it done. Just has to hope for a couple of mistakes from Flatpaper. And yeah, this 200 BPM looks so much more comfortable compared to that 250 or 40 BPM on the Nomad 5. But still going to be Azer first to fall on one of those stream patterns. Flatpaper still holding on to the FC from the beginning. Azer has stabilized, but we're going to need to see a couple of mistakes from Flatpaper if Azer wants a chance back into this one. Now already a third of the map done. And 75,000 points is pretty significant at this stage of the map. Azer finding yet another chain miss on that stream section right before this next PI. Gonna be putting a pretty big hurt on them on any form of final score that they can get. Down about 6% accuracy and 150,000 points. This is looking worse and worse for Azer as Flatpaper is just running away with it. Flatpaper is doing so much damage right now. Over 200,000 points in favor. We're not even halfway through this map, just barely over it. And for somebody who doesn't necessarily play streams as often as Azer does, you know, I think Azer scores relatively fine, but yeah, this is quite a score from Flatpaper here on this Nomad 2. Who is above and beyond exceeding all expectations, I think, so far in this tournament. Having beaten the likes of Caleb Sutt, only losing to Birchman in the round of 16. Also beating Exia in the round of 32. So yeah, Flatpaper is really making a name for themselves here in this tournament. If they haven't already made a name for themselves, but you can see just how little is left in this map, and we're only at 600,000 points for Flatpaper. Will they be able to close out the full combo? That's the question. We'd love to see it. We're hitting these space streams like it's nothing. The X-Cells, D-Cells are not phasing Flatpaper whatsoever. Was just on an absolute tear. Finally ends up dropping the combo, but still 800,000 is so insane. An unfortunate chain miss at the very end, but I mean, you far exceeded expectations so far in this match. It doesn't even matter how the rest of the match goes. I think Flatpaper, you got to give yourself a pat on the back, because that is such a crazy score to get in match. Very, very nicely done. Able to win on their 3rd point so far, and yeah, I mean, what an absolute score from Flatpaper. From 300k on locals to 790k is pretty ridiculous. But Azer's got some question marks now. I'm not sure where Azer wants to go. I'm looking at something like that Nomad 4, the Nomad 3. I think Nomad 6 was a question mark as well, although Flatpaper says that they've practiced that map quite a bit, especially yesterday as well, so maybe not even going to see that Nomad 6 get picked by Azer, but we'll see. Maybe even something like the Hard Rock 2 could be a fine pick for Azer, but it's going to be the Nomad 1, actually. Amidst all that, I just was not giving respect to just the raw aim consistency of the Nomad 1. I think Azer's pretty solid on this kind of a map. Going to be, again, another 4-minute length map, but still complete switch up from that Nomad 2. It's all about the XL Cell streams. This one's all about the aim. It is hard to understate just how solid of a performance so far in this tournament Flatpaper has given us. I think already on paper you would not expect Flatpaper to make it so far, but doing really, really well. Now into this Nomad 1. Will we see any breakpoints in this match? So far every player has won their own picks. We haven't seen a breakpoint yet. The previous match, just in the last hour, we saw only one breakpoint between, what was it, Zex and... Can't remember the second player. I just casted it, but yeah, that happened at the very end, so we're on track for another close match here. Zex and Raikai, excuse me. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. Yeah, we got consistency here. 4 minutes of consistency. No player to drop so far. You're not really expecting drops in this build-up section. There's really not anything to miss on. The misses will come during the key eyes for the solo section. Jumps start to get pretty spaced apart here. No player fallout clearing just yet. A slight accuracy advantage for Flatpaper, but Azer's going to be the first to fall on some of these jump patterns, and Flatpaper is just pulling heavy work right now. Lifting through the first section of the map. It's actually a slider break from Azer, so very unfortunate drop. Still plenty of time for some mistakes to be made on the side of Flatpaper. He's doing some pretty solid work so far in this match. So holding on to the FC right now. 2 solid accuracies as well. Azer's gonna need to see a couple of mistakes from Flatpaper pretty soon. Also gonna have to hold on for a pretty large amount of time. 70,000 all the way up to 90,000 points as we get into the second KI section. We get a little bit of a pause right before the big jumps. Will either of these players be missing on it? And no, not just yet, but still a little bit nerve-wracking seeing that pause right there. The accuracy has equalized though, but still remains that Flatpaper is holding on to the full combo and Azer is not. 100,000 points separates these two players right now. Only about a third of the map remaining, and yeah, this is looking worse and worse for Azer as Flatpaper is really starting to pull away with this one. Not too much to say right now. Azer needs some couple of mistakes from Flatpaper. That's all there is to say. And Flatpaper's not giving it to him. Oh, but as I say that, there is the mistake from Flatpaper now. 170,000 points, I think, is doable if and only if Azer FCs the entire rest of the map. He has the accuracy for it, 99.5, more than enough, and he knows that it has to be done. He knows he has to FC. The question is, will he be able to? Flatpaper finds a couple more misses. That brings that score loop down to 120,000 now into the final KI section. Coming up to the 100,000 mark. Flatpaper finds some more misses. Azer's holding strong. It's just that one initial slider break from Azer, still holding on to the S rank. Hitting the jump section, that brings that score down to 50,000 points now as we come into the final section of the map. It's Flatpaper finding more mistakes. Unfortunately not able to hold on to the nerves, and Azer's going to switch his scoreline over, I think, at the very end. Just barely enough time to do it and had to FC that entire part of the map. What an insanely close point for Azer. Just 14,000 points for shy of not making it done, but Azer gets it done. The S rank as well, 680,000 points to 67,000 points when all is said and done. And I mean, you cannot ask for a closer point between these two players. Here we go. DT1, Gold Dust. Old style aim on this one, or I guess just old map aim. This is an absolute classic. I think pretty much every player's probably played this map in their play time. With double time, that is another question. I feel like Azer's definitely played this one with double time before. This could actually be a toss-up. I do think, given how good Azer did on the DT4, which was arguably a harder map than something like this DT1, I do think that this could very easily be a break point for Azer, but we'll see how he actually ends up faring. It was Flatpaper who won on that DT4 earlier, so... Yeah, starting this one off, you finally see a first break from one of these two players, and it's going to be Flatpaper, actually. Finds the first chain miss on one of the stream patterns. Just the linear streams are so awkward to hit. Azer is going to be trading back and forth a little bit here with Flatpaper, though, so it's going to keep it relatively close for Flatpaper. Only about 30,000 points separating the two, as they both continually trade these sections. At about the same mark every single time. Ooh, Azer hitting a 50. That dropped him down by about 10,000 points, actually, which is ridiculous. That amount of accuracy dropped from one single 50. Still holding on to the score lead, just barely. These linear patterns are so nasty, especially with double time. This is what I'm talking about. Azer is no slouch when it comes to the style of map. However, he does end up dropping the combo going into the last quarter of the map. Flatpaper is the one holding on to the lead now. Score ends up switching in favor of them. So now 50,000 points and climbing in favor of Flatpaper. And I think that damage has been done. That miss from Azer was more than enough to be able to swing it the way of Flatpaper. And yeah, it's going to be a point for Flatpaper. It was looking scary to start this one off, but now, as all is said and done, Flatpaper gets it done. 4 points on the board. 4-3. Excuse me, 3-4. And now Azer has a difficult choice to make. I think it's between the Nomad 3 and the Nomad 4. There might be Nomad 6 in question here, but I'm really feeling that Nomad 3 or Nomad 4 for Azer. I think those are probably two of his strongest maps. I think it's just a question of how will Flatpaper do, because Flatpaper is far performing above expectations so far in this match. Flatpaper says it's got them stressed, and I mean, hey man, you're doing absolute insane work so far. You have the score lead. You have won every single one of your own points as well. Like, that is more than you can ask for when you are against a tournament veteran such as Azer. But Nomad 4 is going to be the choice here between that Nomad 4 and Nomad 3. I mean, you had to expect this one to be picked by Azer at some point, but let's see how this one actually ends up going. This one's got a lot of cut streams in it, a lot of slider aim. It's a fairy map. If you're familiar with fairy maps, you will know kind of what this one's all about. Pretty much just tech in its rawest form. This was hidden on it. This also potentially could have been a good ban from Flatpaper, but we'll see. This is the map that we saw Zex win on against Raikai in the match previous to this one. Also, a reminder, Remindra versus Marwin on the main stream as well is going on right now if you are interested in that match. I know a lot of people are watching this one. Root for your favorite player on this side, but if you are familiar with either of those two players as well, maybe go put that one in a separate tab. Yeah, this is no mod 4 this week. It's a pretty tricky one. We do see both players make it through the beginning section with all their combo, but accuracy-wise, it's Azer coming out on top. Who has kind of made themselves a name for being one of the best tech players in the game. Flatpaper going to be the first to fall between these two players on this no mod 4, and they're still holding on to such a crazy 98.4% accuracy right now. 100,000 points of score advantage already halfway through the map. This is looking really bad for Flatpaper. We're gonna need to see a complete disaster from Azer, as well as pretty much an entire FC from Flatpaper to bring this one back. It's not looking to be that way. Azer is holding so solid right now going into the last part of the map. However, there is one extremely tricky pattern Azer ends up messing up on, and Flatpaper hits. Here we go. Oh, Flatpaper misses on it, and that Azer holding still now does finally end up dropping, but the damage has been done. 300,000 points is going to be way more than enough for Azer to be able to get this point. Yeah, not going to be the break point in this match. Not even sure if we'll see a break point in this match. I don't know what Flatpaper picks next. I mean, my gut says it's something like the Hard Rock 4, but I'm really not sure how he's feeling about that. Just given it is in the Hard Rock pool, definitely adds to that difficulty. I'm thinking something like that Hard Rock 4 would do pretty solid for Flatpaper. If not the Hard Rock 4, maybe into double times, but no. Flatpaper's final pick is already on the board. Hard Rock 1 will be their last pick. This is gonna be more aim, actually. I saw this map in a previous match and I thought that this was gonna be some shred, but no, this is aim. Hard Rock aim with a lot of slider jumps. A lot of room for slider breaks as well.
She's a revolver, she break through your armor. Don't try to stop her, never seen one like her. I wanna be like her. She's a revolver, revolver, revolver. Yeah, everybody watch her. She's a revolver, she break through your armor.
Yep, Hard Rock 1. This is gonna be the last pick from Flatpaper. Only one more remaining for Azer as well. And a little bit of a flunder here at the very beginning of this map from Flatpaper, but not gonna be too big of an issue. Getting that combo again, though, definitely doesn't help the case. Kind of the free combo of this map. Azer makes it through relatively unscathed. The accuracies are completely even, despite having 2 misses already from Flatpaper. This is where the map takes off with the aim. These really fast sliders, long sliders. A lot of linear aim as well in this one. Both players make it through that first KI section unscathed, though. Actually dead even on the accuracy. Nope. Take that back. Flatpaper drops a couple of 100, so that will make that accuracy drop a little bit. Still going to be favoring Azer, though, and this is looking bad for Flatpaper. Picking the aim into Azer here is a little rough, considering how he did on the No Mod 1. However, Azer does finally end up dropping, but that's not to be seen with a couple of trades from Flatpaper as well, so yeah, this is still looking tough for Flatpaper. Going to need to see more mistakes from Azer. Going to need Flatpaper to lock in order to win their last pick. There's only 1/3 of the map remaining. Finding more mistakes is Flatpaper. This is looking worse and worse. I think this is going to be a breakpoint for Azer. Does end up finding a break of their own, but still going to be trading with Flatpaper. That's totally fine. You're up 90,000 points. 80,000 now, though, as you find a complete chain miss. What is happening here? Last part of the map. Anything can happen, actually. Take it back. It's not guaranteed here. Flatpaper has a chance. 75,000 points as Azer finds more mistakes. If Flatpaper locks in, no does end up dropping, but I don't know if that drop is still gonna matter. 60,000 points. We are climbing the way of Flatpaper. What is happening is the accuracy advantage, but Flatpaper finds a couple of misses of their own. Is still not going to be enough, and yeah, that's going to be the point for Azer. Going to be super close all the way to the very end, but still not going to be enough. And Azer's going to get the first break point of the match at the very end on Flatpaper's final pick, and this is a really scary spot to be in if you are Flatpaper. Azer has the gnome on 3. He has the gnome on 6. Heck, I mean, I don't know. I'm real scared for Flatpaper, but Azer, I think it's got to be the gnome on 3. Yeah, 600k to 350k is rough. That's just kind of how it goes in tournaments, unfortunately. Azer, not a fan of this map, but hey man, you got the point. Break point at that, and that's more than you can ask for. What is going on? Just give us the gnome on 3. Give us the gnome on 6, Azer. The people want it. I want to see Know It All. Nah, it's the gnome on 3. I mean, you had to expect it. It's alt, it's snap alt, it's Azer. It's gonna be the last map of picks in these two players. Last map of relegation, I should say. They just come out on this final pick. Flatpaper has to get the break point. And again, this is still losers bracket. Seeing Azer in losers bracket in quarterfinals. Anything could happen. Flatpaper just needs one to take us to the tiebreaker. Right now is going to be Flatpaper finding a couple of mistakes to begin this one. Azer will trade it, but this is kind of the intensity of the entire map. How does this snap alt into some of these quad 1-6 bursts? Right now it's Flatpaper holding on to the combo advantage. As I say that, what are we missing on, man? Oh goodness. Here we go into the second PI section. Actually finding a couple of breaks on some of the hard extreme patterns of the map. Now Azer holding on to the combo advantage and the score advantage by a pretty sizable margin. Heck, even the accuracy advantage. Flatpaper is struggling on this gnome on 3, and this is looking so bad for Flatpaper. We need to see a complete disaster, complete fall apart from Azer, and we do see the miss, but complete disaster yet to be seen here from Azer. 60,000 points here, only a third of the map done. This is looking really rough for Flatpaper. We're going to need to see a complete turnaround from him. Now the accuracy is starting to stabilize at the very least. To come up to the halfway mark. We're going to need more than that accuracy stabilizing. We're going to need to see more mistakes from Azer. We're going to need to see Flatpaper lock in for pretty much the rest of the map. 60,000 points is very doable. Into the second PI though. No big streaming into that one, so pretty easy to hold on to the combos. But still, it's good consolidation on the recovery from Azer. Keeping Flatpaper at bay, who was holding on to a pretty impressive combo, but finally ends up dropping, and now this is Azer's chance to start to run away with it, to close this one out. maybe entirely. Kept it within contention for Flatpaper for so long, but now we're already 100,000 points in favor of Azer. Going into the last third of the map, we saw that close pretty quickly in the last map, but still not going to be enough, I feel like, for Flatpaper. We're going to need to see it's a complete fall apart. Heck, Azer's computer turn off even, I think, would be the only way that Flatpaper has a chance back into this now. 800 combo, and it just feels too far gone. Will this be another match that goes the distance just to have a break point at the very end of the match? I feel like that's what's going to happen here. We saw it in the Zex Raikai match. It went 4-4, and then Zex got the break point and won the map. Won the match off the last pick. And now we're seeing it again here between Azer and Flatpaper. Azer won the break point at the very end off of 4-4, and now it's closing out the match. Flatpaper will be knocked out of the tournament here. But still, I mean, what an insane performance from Flatpaper. Such a hard side of the bracket Flatpaper had to fight through. So GG, well played, both players. Unfortunately, Flatpaper will be knocked out of the tournament, but hey, I mean, you gotta feel pretty good about your performance. I think Flatpaper did an absolutely phenomenal job. Well exceeded expectations, but that's going to do it. Congratulations to Azer for moving forward into the semifinal stage as your winner of this match. And yeah, there's more matches left to be had today. Plenty more. I think there's still 3 or 4 more happening. Right now, there's still Rumindra versus Marwin on the mainstream. I think we're going to head over there. So yeah, don't go anywhere. And thank you so much, everybody, for watching. My name is It's Pigeon. So much speaking for the stream. And I think it was Pikapone for the ref. So yeah, thanks so much, you guys. And take care. 的なケツなく遅れたね身勝手な虚勢狂わされたせいお願い声を聞かせて声を聞かせて絡まって歪んでしまった傷さえくれたのは